It's been such a long time coming. And I'm so excited. I'm not going to cry. What? And now I lost my handkerchief. Oh, well. So thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here, and I'm going to share a little bit about my story. Thank you. I was a client for years. My recruiter is my lovely cousin, who unfortunately couldn't be here today, but she came by and gave me congratulations on Thursday, but it's my cousin Patty. And I was a client forever. I was a good little client, and I bought, my creams from her, and she would call me every time I got a book, and I would order. But, and she did try to recruit me several times, and it was just, I was always, no, I went to college. Just such a bratty thing to say. She's a CPA, so she was obviously a little bit more educated than I was. But I was feeling so high and mighty in my hoity-toity job. Prior to this, I was working at Fox. I was a single mom for 7 years. When I started working at Fox, I was a single parent, and I was, just trying to make ends meet. So for me to do Mary Kay, no, I'm working at Fox, and Fox is big time. Sure, corporate. So a friend of mine, actually, I was a supervisor at the time. When I came into Fox, I was working in marketing, and then I switched to On Air. And On Air is the commercials that go on the channel for the channel. So this Saturday on Fox, I worked in that department. And I was a supervisor, and I had my little cubicle, and the cubicle next to me was another beauty consultant and a friend of mine. So I still bought my creams and everything from my cousin, but it was just easy every once in a while to say, can you bring my cleanser tomorrow? Oh, I like that lipstick. Can you bring that to me tomorrow? So I just started buying from her, and it was really easy. And one day she says to me, Angela, you can just sign up for the discount. I said, honey, what's your discount? She goes, 50%. And I said, why in the world, and I didn't say world, why in the world am I paying you 100% of my money and I could buy it at 50%? So I literally got up from her desk and walked to my desk and called my cousin. I said, okay, I'm ready. She goes, ready for what? I'm ready to be a beauty consultant. She's like, now? She's asked me so many times. She was trying to earn her car, asked me to join, and I was just, no. I was a brat. But she didn't never gave up on me, and she actually put her business on the back burner because she can, and she's still a consultant. But she's not working her business anymore, even though it's hilarious that she still has lots of sales, which is great. But I said, I'm just joining for personal use. I'm not going to go to those meetings. I'm not going to hold those parties. I'm not going to wear those suits. I'm just going to sign up to get my products at a discount. And I actually came in qualified. And just because, I got the starter kit and everything in there is so beautiful, and there's prizes. And of course I wanted to come in as a star, but it didn't make sense to come in as a star if I just wanted to be personal use. But so I did come in qualified, and my mom got some creams, and I got some creams, and I said, I'll just have some extra in case people want stuff. And a couple months later, my cousin calls me, and she says, we're going to quit. I'm like, well, why? She says, because there's another director, and she's fabulous. We're going to sign under her. You could stay where you are, and when you're ready to work, I'm sure she'll work with her, or you could just come with us. I'm like, I'm not doing anything. No, I'll just come with you. So sure enough, waited my year, and then re-signed under Ann. Now, I had no idea, still to this day, who my director was back then. But then, as soon as I signed with Ann, she made sure I knew who she was. So she was, she called me a couple times. She invited me to a couple of things. And then when she invited me to a Quantum Leap event. And so it was in Carson, and I was engaged to my husband at the time, and my husband lived in Torrance area, so I was like, oh, perfect, I'll just spend the night there, go to Carson, and I'll go to an event. And that's the first time I actually met Ann. And oh my gosh, so all the directors are there, and they're all beautiful and poised and everything, and I'm like, oh, I want to be one of them. And then in comes Carol Anton, who's our national sales director, for those of you who don't know her. So I was like, I want to be Carol. And so, very excited, at that point I decided, you know what, yes, I want to be a national sales director, but I'm not going to work. Okay, makes total sense, right? So, yes, so Ann said, okay, we're going to do some coaching calls, and we're going to get together, and I said, okay, yeah, great. I did one coaching call, and it was awesome, and she told me things to do, and I didn't do them, so I never called her again. Makes sense, right? Brilliant. So then, about a year later, I thought I was very busy, because now I was actually promoted in my business. I became the manager of the department. I was planning my wedding, and shortly after we got married, we started growing the family, which apparently we haven't stopped. But yes, we're done. We're done. But a year later, that's when Ann gave me the call, and I was really freaking out of what am I going to do with this little baby? I'm the food supply. I want to be able to be home. I was working 50 hours plus a week. I did not get paid overtime. there was many benefits and bonuses to working at Fox, but at the expense of my family. And so I thought, what if I gave this Mary Kay thing a try? What if I really tried? Worst case scenario, my baby goes to daycare and I go back to work at Fox. But best case scenario is I could quit my job and be home with my baby. And so I worked really hard. I was on the fast track. Before my baby was born, I had my first team member, who's here, which is my mom. And when that little baby was just about 2 months, I was already in my red jacket. And when I went to seminar, she was 3 months, almost 4 months, I was a team leader. So I was on my way. And when I went back to work, I had 7 team members on my team. And back then, you only needed 8 to go into qualification. So my second day back at work, I gave my letter of resignation. I said, because we're doing this. And I quit my job. And this is all I've been doing ever since. So it's amazing. So that month, I worked hard, because I worked my full-time job. I was still working my Mary Kay, just trying to find that one more person to go into qualification. And luck we have it, I did not find that one person. So I did not go into qualification, and I kind of got stuck at that number 7 mark for a while. And I said, you know what, my goal was to stay home, and I'm home. So that's done. I need a new goal. I need a new goal. So my next goal became, we were in a condo, and it was a nice little condo. I want a home with a backyard for my kids to grow up in and play. So I started working really, really hard, and that month I bronze medaled. So I got 3 new team members on my team. I said, that's it, we're doing it. The next month, I found out I was pregnant. So 4 kids, 1 was planned. Just, that's how it works. That's how it works out. So, okay, so I found out I was pregnant. And that pregnancy was actually pretty difficult for me. And those of you who know my little Lucy, you can see why it was difficult for me. She is my challenging child. But I didn't work. I really didn't work. And I was able to still bring some money in, just not, of course, the kind of money that I wanted. But again, thanks to my wonderful husband, we were able to get out of that condo and into a home because I wasn't working. So it's just amazing how dreams do come true, but they come true even bigger when you do work. So now we're in the home, and that little baby that I started working with was now going to be going to school, and my dream was for her to go to private school. So I was like, okay, now I've got my motivation. I got to put my track shoes on and run. So I started running, and that's when I got a very amazing team member in Amy, and she definitely just kept pushing me along the way. And that month, I went on target to earn my car. So now I'm excited. We're doing it. Yes, I'm earning my car. We're going to get things going. The next month, I found out I was pregnant. And so, but Stella has honestly been my little star, because with her, I've been able to do so many amazing things, and you can see she's such a good baby. And I really think there's no excuse. There really is no excuse. She was born during my 2nd month of qualification. So, to say that, there really, really is no excuse. So I was in qualification at the hospital, birthing, and then just went right back to work and was still able to complete, right when she turned 2 months. So there really is, and what was great is that once she was born, so many of my customers kept coming by to visit me because they wanted to see the baby, and they were giving me gifts, and they were ordering product. So I kept telling my husband, honey, look, we've got presents and we've got cash. It was amazing, and people were paying me in cash. Because you have this new baby, you can't go to the bank. Here you go, here's cash. Okay, twist my arm, I'll take cash. So, let me make sure I go back to where I was. So now what I found is that you really have to find your driving force. You do have to find your why. And I definitely had many whys, but it wasn't the driving force that really got me to buckle down and do the work. I felt from my first meeting that I was a director. I just knew it. The only difference was I wasn't doing the work to do it. Remember, I wasn't going to work. It was just going to happen, right? So when I was pregnant with Stella, my husband said, okay, you either need to get a new job or I need to get a 2nd job, because we're not going to be able to afford this. And my why truly became my husband. Because, I know I have later to talk about him, but he just keeps coming out. It became him because I wanted to be able to be that breadwinner, because he's been so long, and to be able to bring in the cash flow, and to be able to have him be proud of me for completing. And so he really became my reason. And what's nice is that Stella really gave me a hard deadline. You know, that baby's coming, whether I like it or not. So not only do you have to find your why and the driving force that's going to get you to get into this position, but also you have to have a dead-on date of when you're completing. Because for me it was, oh, well, I want a new house, and you know, that's going to happen eventually. That's not a date. You know, I had, she was due. She was due at the end of June, and so I had to make sure I had it done. And my goal was to have it done before she was born, but the nice thing is Mary Kay does give us a couple of extra months to finish. So what I suggest for all my consultants out there is to write 50 reasons why you want to be a director. Because after about 12 to 15, you start kind of getting stuck. So that's when you really have to dig deep of why you want to become a director. And then next to that, write 5 to 10 reasons why you think you would be a great director. And work on that. Because once I did that, is really when I honed in on the Camaro factor. And that's when it's like, if I just work on this, who cares about all this other stuff? You know, all the other stuff that I'm not good at. If I just focus on what makes me great, every single director here is great for a different reason. We're all different. We all did the exact same work to get to this. We all booked, we sold, and we shared the opportunity. But every single one of us is different. So focus on what makes you great. And work on that, and work on the things that you have to work on, and you will get into this position. Mary Kay's mission has been to enrich the lives of women. My mission is to bring women home to their babies. I have been so blessed, and thank you to my husband again too for helping me, of being able to be home with my kids and raising my kids. There are so many different, they need you at every different level. Of course the babies need you. My son's 14. And he's going through that really fun stage right now where he really needs me. I know when those women say, I have teenagers at home, I get you, pray for me. And I'm going to have 3 teenagers at the same time. Oh. So, and they need you then. I feel like sometimes he needs me way more than the baby does. Okay, because little kids get into little trouble, big kids get into big trouble, and he's a big kid. So I definitely want to be there when he's home and see who his friends are. And then when they're older, I mean, like my mom, I still need my mom. You know, it's for the babysitting and everything like that. I do, and that's the thing. They still need you. I mean, those of you out there that have adult kids or have grandkids, you know what I'm talking about. They still need you, and to be able to be there for your kids and for your grandbabies. I don't have grandbabies yet, but you know, I'm going to be a fabulous grandma. So first, I do want to thank my first team member, my mom. She actually recruited at a breakfast like this, and I was telling her, she was filling out the agreement. I'm like, no, what are you doing? Stop! And she's like, do you let me do what I'm going to do? And she did. She signed on, and thank you so much for all your support. Thank you. She always makes my fabulous Christmas baskets because she is the Latina Martha Stewart, I always said. That is so not me. So thank you so much. She always helps me out. She always gives me new ideas, and she always says, hey, what about this lady? What about this lady? Bring it. Tell her to do a party. Tell this one to do a party. So thank you. Thank you so much. I love you. When she had her debut that Ann did, I brought a friend of mine to that debut who Ann said, call her, see if she'll do a practice interview. So I said, okay, you know, I'm supposed to call you to see if you'll do a practice interview. She's like, okay. So I got Ann on the phone, and she's like, well, yeah, how do I do this? Sign me up. So I'm like, okay, that really wasn't a practice interview. So that's how I got my second recruit. And then Ann did her debut, and I brought my uncle's girlfriend, Iris. And she was like, well, shouldn't I buy from you? And I'm like, yeah, don't worry, you know. But then when we sat down with Ann, Ann's like, well, why don't you just do this? Oh, I could do this? Oh, okay. Let me sign up. I'll do this. And that's how I got into my red jacket. It was just, yeah, so just bring people to things that your director's at. And the wonderful thing about Iris, she's the one that put me into my red jacket, and she was actually my number 24 to put me into the suit. So God bless her, yes. She lives in Tennessee, but she would love to have been here. Okay, so my next thank you is to my lovely Amy. Thank you so much. When I met Amy at a fashion show, yeah, I was working a booth, and so, preschool, yes, fashion show, and so I called her up, and of course she won, and she held a party with me, And it's so funny that she was amazed by my party because it was her and her mom and her sister-in-law, and my husband was supposed to be taking care of my daughters, but of course the daughters wanted to be with the ladies. So my daughters were at the table, and Anna Maria kept grabbing Amy's elbow, for those of you who know her bobble, and twitching everything. Mary Kay, Mary Kay. And Lucy decided to get on the table, she's my challenging child, get on the table and dance around. So I finally was able to tame her and sit her down, and that's when she took my mascara and put it all over her face. So now I'm mortified. Mortified. I'm like, this does not look professional at all. So I'm like, look at how great our eye makeup remover works. And now I have to put another mascara because you're not going to put that mascara on your eyes. Oh, it was very precious. And meanwhile, Amy's looking like, this woman has the career of a lifetime. She's working with her kids right here. It's pretty amazing. And you and I, we hit it off right away. And you became someone I definitely want to do life with. And like I said, thank you for constantly pushing me along, kicking me in the butt. And I'm so, so proud of you that you're now in the suit. I love you. Yay. Oh, my lovely Anne. And I love you so much. Thank you for always challenging me. And I made the mistake of once telling her, please kick me in the butt when I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. And so she did, and she still does, lots and lots of times. But I asked her to, so it's okay. It's my fault. Thank you for constantly praying with me, and I've shared so many deep things with her that just help me be the woman that I am. I've always been happy. I've always been, happy-go-lucky and the go-getter, but she's really helped me hone in on what my skills are, focus on that, and really you paved the way to just be a woman of excellence. I love you. So thank you. And to my amazing husband, I was born to love you. Thank you so much for loving me so much. And I honestly, I wanted to be someone that you would be proud to be with. Because every day I'm so proud to be your wife. You're so amazing. You've made me a better person. You've given me 3 amazingly beautiful daughters. And you've always been one that challenges me. And I love you. Thank you so much for your support and for your encouragement and for the video. Was that video not awesome? I love you. I took him to a seminar, and my husband isn't a man. I said he doesn't say a lot of words, he just says the right ones. And at the end of seminar, we're kind of walking around looking at all, because they have all the cars there at seminar for you to get into, take pictures of. You saw, I had a lot of pictures of them. And he's like, okay, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this, and stop with this, and do that. I'm like, yes sir, yes sir. So it was great, because he got it. So I love that. Now, the difference, definitely the difference between one thing that I wanted to talk about with the real job is that when I worked at that real job, one of the things that I know my husband did say, okay, you need to go out and get another job, or you got to get this Mary Kay thing to work because we need the money. And the difference, I didn't want to go back to the real job because I knew what that was like. I've been that, and I knew what it was like to be able to have that freedom and flexibility to be home. So I did not want to do that. So it's like, okay, I got to do what it takes to get it done. And there was, of course, working at Fox, there was many amazing benefits. Being able to screen all Fox movies before they came out in theaters, or during the Oscars, they would screen every single movie that's nominated for every single category. And it's all free. It's all free for employees. So those kind of little perks that I loved. I would get a bonus check, a big bonus check at the end of the fiscal year. Now, of course, it always depends on how big Fox did. I worked at little cable channel Fox Sports. However big Fox did, depended. So the year of Star Wars, it was a great big check. But the year of our big hit was Garfield, it was a little check. What I love, Mary Kay, is that we are in control of our bonus checks, and we get one every single month. So I do love that. But, so there was many, the fringe benefits at working at Fox, but the daily grind, it was really a grind. And when you're working in corporate, they want you to perform. Doesn't matter if it's at the expense of your family, the expense of your health, at the expense of your lunch, because oftentimes I would just work right through lunch. Yeah. They want you to perform. They want you to be the best performer you could be. And they just pay you for that performance, and that's it. With Mary Kay, they want you to be the best you. And it's just focusing on your strength, ignoring your weaknesses, and just focusing on you, the woman. And I feel like this little starter kit is packaged very individually for each and every one of us. So I do love that. But so on the glamour side of Mary Kay, there's way more glamour side to Mary Kay, because in corporate you don't get a crown for doing your job at a sales meeting, or diamond rings, or I mean, I think everything I'm wearing besides my wedding ring was a prize. So I mean, just, oh, you did well, so here's a watch. Oh, you brought someone into the company, here's some bracelets. You know, just giving us little prizes that you wouldn't normally get in your everyday 9-to-5 job. But the daily grind, it can be a little bit of a grind. It's a fun grind. We get to party, but don't just always think about the big picture. Go to the daily tasks that will get you to the big picture. You know, now that I'm a director, my products doesn't just float into my car to go to a skincare class. I still have to love that stuff. You know, just like every one of us. And sometimes I'm at my desk finally looking for that sheet of paper. What was that woman's name again? I know I have it here somewhere. But it's that doing that daily work daily and constantly is what's going to take you to the position. So this is something that I found that I wanted to read really quickly. It's about the real job. And of course, this is from Gloria. It says, throughout my career, I have seen many consultants come and go because they felt they needed to find a real job. Why do people think that Mary Kay is not a real job? What classifies an opportunity as a real job? Does getting a paycheck with the same number of dollars each pay period classify it as a real job? Does working 10 to 40 plus hours and still making the same amount of money classify as a real job? How about getting up early, taking a shower, and leaving your house every day? What about putting your kids in daycare? Does that make it a real job? How about having to schedule vacation time a year in advance? Or having to explain to your supervisor why you need a day off? Maybe that's what makes it a real job. Maybe you need to work for someone else, have to report to someone else, and let him or her decide what you deserve, when you deserve a raise. So let's pretend for a moment that if we apply real job guidelines to your Mary Kay business, just imagine if you devote 20 hours per week to complete and total focus to doing your Mary Kay job well. If you set your own goal and always did today's work today instead of when you felt like it. And actually, one of our directors, Laura, she always says, when we have a job, we'll go to work when we're sick or when our kids are sick. But with Mary Kay, our little toe hurts. And I can't do my Mary Kay today. So if we did, today's work today, and instead of when we felt like it. Imagine the possibilities if you paid attention to profitability and actually took the steps necessary to promote yourself. One huge motivator for me is that I figured out my consultant check, and then I figured out for the same amount of work what my director check would have been. My consultant check was about $700, and it would have been like way over $3,000 as a director. Huge motivator. It's a bit of a difference, right? For the exact same amount of work. So you owe it to yourself to make Mary Kay a real job, even if it's a part-time job. Why would you give more time and commitment to someone else's business that you would your own? Do you really want to work for someone else forever? Would you prefer to work 20 hours and get paid like you worked 40? Would you like to be your own boss? Would you like to plan your own hours each week and work within your family's schedule? What if you could take an extra day off 1 week, then work 2 extra hours throughout the week to make up for it? Do you have this type of freedom in your real job? If you feel like you have tried Mary Kay, I love that, tried Mary Kay and it hasn't worked for you. I've seen people who try the gym and it doesn't work. Try asking yourself a few questions. If someone in my Mary Kay work habits worked for me, would I continue to employ them and pay them? Am I consistent in my efforts? Do I make calls when I need to make them, no matter what? Do I place orders in a timely manner and keep the store stocked with the hottest, most up-to-date products? Do I follow up with leads and potential recruits quickly and professionally? Do I work with my director on accountability and turn in my weekly compliment sheets? Do I attend trainings, weekly meetings, and events in my area? If you've answered any of these questions with a no, perhaps it's an opportunity to change your ways and make new goals for your business this month. Make it a point to treat your Mary Kay business like a real job, and you will earn real money, real cars, real prizes, and see real changes in your life. Want to make real differences in the lives of women? I believe we can. So make your Mary Kay, with a Mary Kay career, what you make is up to you. Isn't that amazing? So one more thank you that I forgot is to Freddie, and I wish Laura was here. But te quería agradecer mucho, estoy practicando mi español, pero como entraste y la consultora es mía y me he entrenado y me has dado la fuerza, the belief.
Creencia.
Gracias, la creencia que yo sí lo puedo hacer. Pues como ustedes trabajan es increíble y me ayudaste a trabajar con las latinas mías. Entonces, con mucho te agradezco. So I just wanted to thank Freddie because I have been attending his meetings, and he's really just broken the belief barriers with women in his unit that are directors that don't speak the language, don't drive, and they're directors. And some of them doing it very, very quickly, and it was huge belief barriers. And I just thank you so much for helping me work with my Hispanic directors because it is a difference. And I said I want to be a bilingual director, so thank you for coaching me in that aspect and breaking the belief barriers. So with that, with that, again, I just want to thank all of you for coming. I know we have some other things. And then I also want to thank my clients that I have here too, because actually both of you were hostesses for me. So thank you so much for being a hostess for me and supporting me and being here in my business, and to my wonderful uncle for also being here and supporting me. And I know he's always said he'll do anything for his favorite niece. He does have two. He has two favorites, that's what he always says. No, it's okay, it's just, and her and I always say, I'm the favorite, I'm the favorite. So thank you so much for being here. Love you, and love you, love you. Love you all. You guys are all so wonderful. I don't know, I guess. That's it.
Trying how to turn it back on. I want to say that we have gone through Mary Kay for a long time, and I remember sitting on the couch at Ann's house in the back and looking at everybody in red and going, oh, dang. And I remember being a roomie with you on many, many Mary Kay occasions, and I remember us having heart-to-hearts, and Angela would always say, okay, I want your advice. And I would always go, okay, really? Because I'll tell you what I really think, and you might not like it, and you know. But I'm just so incredibly proud of you, and I'm so glad the switch was flipped, and you got in the suit, and you're sitting at the table with us, because you have always been a director. Does your boss give you flowers at work? Probably not. All right, well, I think that we should do this in proper Mary Kay fashion. And ladies and gentlemen, our newest director, Angela Camaro. It's not always easy, but it is worth it. Okay, so now we're going to do some more recognition.